Aerial Powers beef with Cheryl Reeve. It is Aerial Powers, the new player for the Indiana Fever, who they just signed, and her beef with Cheryl Reeve. And if you guys are wondering why this is relevant, the Indiana Fever tonight are in fact playing the Minnesota Lynx.
The WNBA believed the drama was finally settling down. They were completely wrong. Aerial Powers, the newest addition to the Indiana Fever roster, has just sparked her ongoing feud with Cheryl Reeve all over again. And believe me, this situation is absolutely wild. We're talking about deep-seated resentment mixed with fresh verbal attacks. This battle has moved far beyond basketball at this point. This has become deeply personal between these two. The real question everyone wants answered is simple. Who's actually coming out ahead in this heated rivalry? Is it Aerial or is it Cheryl? Let's dive into the details and figure this out. What's your take? Do you believe Aerial Powers has what it takes to silence Reeve's doubts through her performance on the basketball court? Or do you think this ongoing conflict will end up damaging the Fever season more than it benefits them? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below.
The Indiana Fever have signed Aerial Powers to a 7-day hardship contract. A very spicy but very capable player. So let's go over everything there is to know about Aerial Powers.
Let's get straight to the point here. When the Indiana Fever brought Aerial Powers onto their team, practically every fan had the exact same thought. Hold on, weren't she and Cheryl Reeve basically enemies? You bet they were. This goes way beyond your typical sports competition. We're talking about genuine animosity between these two. And now the WNBA has handed us a brand new drama to watch unfold. Powers is back in action, but this time she's sporting the Indiana uniform, while Cheryl Reeve finds herself having to game plan against her former nemesis. Get ready for some serious fireworks.
Dawned on me, man, that Cheryl Reeve and Aerial Powers, man, was going at it when she was on that team. Now, she was signed to that team, I think, in 2022. She was actually their top scorer, now that I think about it. She was their top scorer. And all of a sudden, I don't know, they was just clashing a little bit. And then I remember Aerial Powers just coming out and just saying, hey, I want to go to a different team. I want to be on another team. She just blatantly told the world, I don't want to be here anymore, basically. And
here's what happened. The Fever, already dealing with a mountain of injuries and complete mayhem, made the choice to offer Aerial Powers a 7-day hardship contract. What's the reason? Because roughly half their players are stuck in medical boots. Caitlin Clark is working through her groin injury recovery. Sophie Cunningham is sidelined. Sydney Colson is unable to play. Ari McDonald is dealing with her own injury troubles. And Odyssey Sims just picked up a fresh injury as well. Put simply, the Fever's changing area resembles a medical facility more than it does a team preparing for the playoffs. They were in desperate need of available players. So who did they reach out to? Aerial Powers.
had Cheryl Reeve actually coming out and saying some slick stuff about her. So it was crazy what was going on between the two. And it boiled over so bad that Cheryl Reeve actually took her out of the game and started making her play like 10 minutes, 12 minutes a game. Now, she did get injured in 2022, and then she had to come back in 2023 off of that injury. So it was kind of like probably like a Aaliyah Edwards moment a little bit with Kiki Arifin, where she kind of lost her starting position. So it was kind of like that too. You're taking your top scorer, by the way, your top scorer, and making her play less minutes. I don't know what was going on between the two, but man, they did not like each other.
Now, this is where the story gets really interesting. Aerial Powers didn't just come out of thin air. She's been playing professionally for years. She's established herself as a reliable point getter in this league. And here's the kicker. She used to be the leading scorer for Cheryl Reeve's Minnesota Lynx team. So what went wrong? She ended up riding the bench. Aerial Powers had such intense conflicts that eventually Aerial was only getting 10, maybe 12 minutes of playing time per game. This wasn't because she lacked skill. She definitely had the talent. But Reeve made the decision that she simply couldn't handle working with her any longer. That's how poisonous their relationship became. And we're not discussing minor disagreements here. We're looking at Reeve publicly criticizing her, Powers firing back with her own comments, and the entire mess becoming front-page news, to the point where Aerial was essentially demanding, "Trade me away from this team. I'm done being here." You rarely witness players making those kinds of public statements while they're still officially on the roster. But Powers didn't hold back. And Reeve, well, she clearly wasn't planning any friendly get-togethers with Ariel either.
Y'all, when I tell you she better not be sitting by me, this would be crazy. We're getting closer and closer to the door. Excuse me. Oh, this is my seat, sir. Okay. Yeah. Hey, how you doing? How crazy is that? Now she's switching with her wife.
One of the most hilarious yet revealing incidents from that conflict happened away from the basketball court. There was actually an airplane trip where Ariel Powers and Cheryl Reeve ended up with seats right next to each other. Want to know what went down? Reeve asked her wife to trade places with her just to avoid sitting beside Powers. This isn't something you could invent. That goes beyond workplace disagreements. That's more like, I refuse to even share the same cabin air with this person. That kind of personal dislike is next level stuff. Jump ahead to today. And what do you know? Ariel is now playing for the Indiana Fever. The exact same Indiana Fever that Cheryl Reeve already has issues with over Caitlin Clark. Don't forget, Reeve was among those who kept Caitlin Clark out of the Olympic team selection. And Indiana supporters definitely haven't let that slide. So now we're looking at a double dose of drama. Caitlin Clark and Ariel Powers representing one team. Cheryl Reeve and her dominant Lynx squad on the opposing side. Oh man. Let's discuss why this situation is like a bomb waiting to explode. Cheryl Reeve has been frustrated all season long regarding the MVP discussions. Indiana actually showed up to one game wearing Kelsey Mitchell MVP jerseys, which caught Mitchell completely off guard.
Were you aware of what your teammates were going to do in terms of the t-shirt?
No. Oh my goodness. I was taken back. It was fun. It was funny. I was very humbled. I was grateful for my group. I love the people I play with, and to know that they would go out their way to make something like that happen for me, it means a lot more than people know, because I have been here the longest I have. You know, everything that people talk about, I have been, and to know that my teammates kind of like see me as, you know, I have value somewhere, and I feel like they make me feel like, you know, I'm important to them and vice versa, and so that value means everything to me. And
the gesture was intended to show team unity, but Reeve didn't appreciate it one bit. She pulled her signature move, pushing her glasses up on her head, and started schooling the press that MVP awards should go to players from the top performing teams. And wouldn't you know it? Her Lynx happened to be that top team. She took shots at Kelsey Mitchell, criticized Aja Wilson, and flat out declared that Napheesa Collier deserves the MVP title.
Jess Shepard became the 19th player in WNBA history to record a triple-double with less than at least 11 field goal attempts. We were just speaking last time out about role players and their strengths and how they're really a huge component to championship teams. You know, recently with Fee being out, there's been a lot of talk online and, you know, as far as media and fans, as far as the MVP race. I was just kind of wondering from your perspective, game in and game out, what say you to those who try to discredit Fee's MVP race campaign because of having a talented roster and a franchise that cares about investment?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty simple. We're not 23-4 through the first, whatever part of the season without Napheesa Collier. We don't have one of the greatest 50-game runs, stemming from last year to this year, and then, historic beginning to the season. And I'd say that, because our roster is constructed in such a way to win a championship, which is understanding you got to have more than an MVP on your team to be successful. But we're not in the place that we're in. We have I don't know what our game lead is in first place. MVPs come from the best team, and this best team has about a 6-game lead on the rest of the league. Napheesa Collier is the reason why. It's pretty simple.
So, if you're keeping track of everything, Reeve already believes Indiana is completely out of touch for promoting Mitchell. She's already got problems with Clark, and now Indiana brings on one of her ex-players, a player she literally refused to sit beside during air travel. Oh, the basketball universe definitely has a twisted sense of comedy. And here's the real bombshell. Aerial Powers isn't some bench warmer looking for scraps. When she's dialed in, she can absolutely dominate. During her time with the Lynx, she was dropping double-digit scoring performances, nailing crucial three-pointers, and muscling her way to the basket. She put up over 14 points per game in 2022. This isn't some feel-good charity move. The Fever might have accidentally discovered a secret weapon, and you can guarantee Powers is going to be hungry for payback when she goes head-to-head with her former coach. Now let's focus on what actually caused this feud to begin with. According to people close to the situation, it had nothing to do with basketball skills. It was all about personality clashes. Reeve is someone who demands total control. She manages the Lynx with complete authority. And if you don't match her expectations, you're gone. Powers? She's got character. She speaks her mind. She connects with supporters on social media. She doesn't hold back her opinions. That's the complete opposite of Reeve's approach. She prefers players who follow her game plan without making waves, who don't cause trouble. And Powers? Well, she doesn't just make waves, she creates tsunamis and then posts about it on Twitter afterward. So obviously, when these two personalities met, there was no way it would end peacefully. And it didn't. Reeve put her on the bench, playing time dropped dramatically, and their working relationship completely fell apart. And now that past drama is coming back just as Indiana and Minnesota are about to face each other again. Consider what's on the line here. For Powers, this is deeply personal. She has the opportunity to show that Reeve made a mistake by pushing her aside. Every shot she makes, every three-pointer she sinks, every point she puts up is going to feel like a direct message to Reeve saying, "How do you like me now?" And for Reeve, oh, she's going to approach this game like it's a championship match. She'll instruct her Lynx players to shut down Powers, irritate her, make her look foolish. Because the absolute last thing Reeve wants is to watch Aerial Powers thrive on a different team, especially Indiana. And let's remember, Indiana is in a tight spot. With half their roster injured, they can't afford to slowly integrate Powers into their system. She's going to get significant playing time whether she's completely comfortable with their style or not. That means she'll be handling the ball regularly. She'll be taking important shots, and she'll be under intense scrutiny. These are perfect conditions for explosive drama. It's also crazy when you consider how this looks to the public. The Fever already have the entire league talking because of Caitlin Clark. Every single move Clark makes gets put under a microscope. And now they've brought in another controversial figure in Aerial Powers, who's jumping right back into the spotlight with a coach who despises her. This goes way beyond basketball. It's like a daytime drama with a game clock running. And here's what makes me chuckle. The Fever, bless them, probably thought they were simply adding roster depth. They probably never considered the media circus they were walking into. But now, every time Indiana faces Minnesota, the TV cameras are going to zoom in on Reeve's expression every single time Powers puts points on the board. Every single time. And social media is going to absolutely explode over it. And listen, I understand Reeve's position. Cheryl Reeve isn't totally off base. Her Lynx have been outstanding. Napheesa Collier has been playing at an MVP caliber. Jessica Shepard recently recorded a triple-double performance. Kayla McBride is a sharpshooter who barely disturbs the net when she drains three-pointers. That roster is loaded with talent. But here's what's puzzling. If you're performing at that elite level, why does Indiana bother you so much? Why does Aerial Powers get under your skin like that? That's the amusing aspect. Reeve is leading a powerhouse team, and yet she still makes time to criticize the Fever whenever possible. That's pure fixation, no question about it. And let's face facts. Powers understands exactly how to capitalize on this situation. She stays active on social media. She connects with her supporters. She'll grab this conflict and milk it for everything it's worth. A trending TikTok video here. A cutting tweet there. And suddenly she becomes the poster child for the Get Back at Reeve campaign. Every fan who dislikes Reeve, every Caitlin Clark supporter still angry about Team USA, they're all going to get behind Powers. And that's exactly what Reeve doesn't want to see happen. Powers is becoming a hometown hero for Indiana supporters. So here's where we stand now. Indiana fighting desperately for victories. Powers fighting desperately for payback. Reeve fighting desperately to maintain her authority. And Caitlin Clark waiting on the sidelines for her comeback. It's the ideal recipe for chaos. And we're barely at the halfway point of this saga. Now let's dive into how this conflict could blow up once the Fever and Lynx actually take the floor together. Picture this scene. Aerial Powers enters the game, the TV cameras instantly focus on Cheryl Reeve, and you know she's already showing her annoyance before Powers even attempts her opening shot. That's the kind of hostility that doesn't just stay hidden in the background. It rises to the surface and affects every single play. For Powers, this goes beyond just a 7-day contract. It's her moment to shine. Every attack toward the basket, every jump shot, every defensive effort is going to be analyzed through the question of whether she can get her payback against Reeve. If she explodes for 20-plus points, the narrative creates itself. Indiana's underestimated signing just humiliated her former coach. If she has a rough night, you can guarantee Reeve will grin during the media session, basically saying, "See, that's exactly why she's no longer here. There's no neutral outcome in this situation." And let's not kid ourselves that Reeve won't use her players as weapons. Minnesota has incredible defensive talent. Kayla McBride, Courtney Williams, Bridget Carlton, they have the personnel to harass Powers throughout the entire game. You can practically hear Reeve instructing her team, don't let her catch fire. Don't give her that moment in the spotlight. And honestly, that's what makes this so compelling. The Lynx don't just want victory. They want to make sure Powers looks completely average. But here's the reality. Powers actually enjoys this type of mayhem. She's never been the silent follow orders type of player. She's outspoken, she's passionate, and she gets energy from proving doubters wrong. That's what makes this showdown so fascinating. She's not entering this game as a backup player just grateful to have a uniform. She's coming in determined to make a statement, determined to destroy the team that sidelined her, and determined to show Indiana fans why she deserves to be there. The more important question is whether the Fever can actually help her succeed in this mission. With so many players hurt, Indiana is basically creating their lineups with whatever they can find. Caitlin Clark, still recovering, would typically draw defensive attention away from everyone else. Aaliyah Boston, when she's focused, is a force in the paint. But let's be honest, her up and down play has been maddening. And Kelsey Mitchell, she's giving everything she has. But opposing teams know she's the main offensive weapon. That puts Powers in a challenging but potentially incredible position. She'll handle the ball more often simply because the Fever don't have many other options. It's almost like fate. The same coach who previously cut her playing time might now have to watch her take on a huge responsibility because Indiana is out of alternatives. And that's exactly why supporters are getting excited, because this goes beyond just two individuals who can't stand each other. It's about the universe of basketball creating the perfect conditions that demand our attention. Here's another angle to consider. Indiana Fever supporters already can't stand Cheryl Reeve. They'll jeer her every time the Lynx visit their arena. They'll tear her apart on social media, and they'll never let go of the Caitlin Clark Olympic rejection. Throw Aerial Powers into that equation, and suddenly Indiana has double the motivation to turn every Fever versus Lynx game into a personal battle. This goes way beyond a typical regular season contest. It's personal combat with points on the board. Now, looking at things from Reeve's angle, she probably views this entire narrative as unworthy of her attention. She's leading the top team in the league, with Collier posting MVP caliber stats, with McBride draining perfect three-pointers, and with Jessica Shepard recording triple-doubles. Theoretically, she shouldn't even worry about what Indiana's doing. But here's the reality. She absolutely does worry. Because if she truly didn't care, she wouldn't be criticizing Indiana's MVP discussions. She wouldn't be dismissing Kelsey Mitchell, and she wouldn't be switching airplane seats to stay away from Powers. The evidence is crystal clear. And Indiana? They're absolutely enjoying every moment of this situation. They get to embrace the underdog position while adding more heat to this conflict. Every basket Aerial Powers makes will get celebrated like a championship-winning shot. And every Fever supporter will be posting online about how Reeve completely misjudged her. It's pure motivation. And if there's anything Indiana desperately needs at this moment, it's motivation. But here's the plot twist. What if this conflict actually fires up the Lynx even more? What if Reeve's players embrace the story and approach every game against Indiana as a personal quest to support their coach? Suddenly you have the Fever competing against not just a talented roster, but a team emotionally driven to silence one of their ex-players. That's a scary situation. This is exactly why the coming games are so crucial. It's no longer just about playoff seeding, it's about respect. Can Aerial Powers step up and prove she still competes at an elite level? Or will Cheryl Reeve have the final victory, demonstrating that she made the right decision to let her go? The outcome won't just affect the statistics. It'll create waves through fan communities, social media platforms, and possibly even Indiana's future signing decisions. So here's what we need to know. Will Aerial Powers take advantage of this opportunity to silence Cheryl Reeve for good? Or will Reeve's links embarrass her all over again? No matter what happens, this transcends basketball. It's a complete drama series with athletic shoes. Share your opinions in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe for more WNBA drama analysis. The snacks are prepared. Are you ready?